What's good, people? We got another Ask FP, and because in regards to Ask FP, I'm not going to talk to you guys before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Let's go with this question of the week. Comes from Jared Young, and he asks, "Who do you think is the best foreign player to ever play in the NBA?" So I guess it kind of depends. Are you talking about somebody who didn't go to college in the United States, or simply a person who was born in another country? So there's a lot of, guys to, sift through. But for me, it would have to be Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. He's from Nigeria. He did go to college at Houston. Yes, the University of Houston, the Houston Cougars. Ended up playing most of his career with the Houston Rockets. But yes, he is, to me, I would say pretty far and away the best. And obviously Dirk's right in there, but I would give it to Hakeem. Von Respa Jr. says, at what point, this was almost the question of the week because it's a really good question. He says, at what point would you say Michael Jordan became the greatest? Merry Christmas. Same to you, Von. For me personally, I would say Michael Jordan became the greatest after the Bulls won their second straight NBA championship. So they won 6 with Mike. After the second one is when they became great, because winning one championship, yes, a lot of really great players have done that, and Mike had already established himself as something special. But when he won back-to-back championships, that put him in rare air, no pun intended. And I think that's what said, okay, now not only we have this great individual performer or this great individual player, but now he has something from a team standpoint that puts him right up there with everybody else. And then after that, the 3 and the 6 and all of that just only added to it. Nightwing says, do you see Nick Batum as an all-star in the NBA? All-star game, East versus West. I think I know what you meant. I think he's really close. He's had a really good season this year. Threatens a triple-double almost regularly. He definitely is a kind of guy that could get snubbed, though. He's definitely kind of guy that could get snubbed. But if he did make it as a reserve, it wouldn't shock me at all. Jared Young says, is Kemba Walker an elite point guard? I wouldn't call him elite. I would say he's good. He's a good point guard, but I would not call him elite. I would say in that next tier down below the elite guys, which would be the Steph Currys, the Russell Westbrooks, the Chris Paul, those guys, John Wall. I think those guys are the elite point guards. I think Kemba Walker's in the group right beneath that. Aeneas Thompson, I believe you are new. Welcome to Ask FP, sir. Or, yeah, I'm thinking that's sir. If not, I'm sorry. Says, do you think NBA 2K17 will have a TNT broadcast feeling? I do think it probably will build on what they already established, because with Ernie, Kenny Smith, and Shaq, they already have 3/4 of NBA on TNT, their whole panel. The only one they don't have is Charles Barkley. The only thing I guess else that they could do is add the actual NBA on TNT overlays. I am looking for, I really want to see the separate broadcast teams and stuff. That's something that I really would love to see. So maybe one game is an NBA on TNT broadcast, or another game would be ESPN. I really would love to see them do that. I don't know if that'll happen, but I think it would be awesome. Jared Young says, do you think that Metta World Peace will be in the Hall of Fame? No. He was a very good player at a point of his career, but I don't think he had enough of a sustained time period as one of the best players in the NBA to make it. Obviously, the Malice in the Palace is what robbed him. People don't realize where he was in his career. Ron Artest at the time, Metta World Peace, was probably one of the 3 to 5 best overall players in the NBA during that time. Overall, when you talk about scoring, defense, rebounding, everything that goes into being a two-way player, I think he was one of the 3 to 5 best players in the league. And that robbed him of some time as well as just overall some momentum. And I think that had he had that time, we may be able to have a different conversation. But as of what reality is, no. Simon Torvey Sunderland says, is the standard of refereeing in the NBA a worry? I don't think so. I think all officiating crews make bad calls here and there. That's why we have replays in place for all of the major sports. I don't think it's like putrid to the point where somebody needs to be investigating somebody. But I don't find it to be atrociously bad or anything like that. The name is James said, do you think that certain players in my team, like Tiny Archibald, Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, etc., should be accessible in other modes? Absolutely. I've been talking about this probably for the last 2 or 3 years. If 2K wants people to play my team who normally don't play it, one of the ways to draw like some franchise mode guys and that sort of thing is to make it where, hey, yeah, we got all these legends and they're unlockable, but you got to unlock them in my team. I guarantee you there would be some people playing my team solely for the purpose of unlocking those guys. You may even have some people willing to make some microtransactions just to get them so that they can go in to play with them in franchise mode. So I totally think they should be included. Africa's internet. Yes, I understand. I don't really, but we're going to go with it. Says, will the Twins improve on their 83-79 record to go below 500? I believe it depends on two big things for Minnesota. The pitching. I think they got better pitching than people expected last year, and the development of Byron Buxton. Buxton can be a big-time player as a table setter with his speed. He can improve an entire lineup. If he can improve and hit much better than he did last year, I think those are the two biggest factors for the Twins. Africa's internet also says if Royals lose Alex, you're talking about Gordon, is a pitcher such as Scott Kazmir enough to make them surefire for the World Series again? I just don't think anybody's ever surefire for the World Series. I mean, baseball is so unpredictable. It's just, the best team on paper. The best team on paper wins fewer times in baseball than probably in any other sport. So I can't say that, but obviously I think a lefty like Kazmir would be huge for their rotation. Africa's internet also said that the Diamondbacks overpay for Shelby Miller. I feel like they downplayed Dansby Swanson's worth. Well, perhaps they did. Maybe Arizona has gotten wind of something during a little bit of time he's been in the system that they felt that he was not as valuable as what people expected. I understand what Arizona's doing. Arizona's trying to win right now. And a lot of times when you try to win right now, you have to mortgage some of the future. So you have Greinke already in the rotation. Then you add a guy like Shelby Miller, who I believe is a legit number 2 starter. I think that I understand what they're doing. We won't really be able to tell if they overpaid until we see how good they are this season, because they consciously let go of some of the youth for, an opportunity to win right now. Another question from Africa's internet says, is it just me, or is the AL kind of down next year? Like, look at the Giants, Diamondbacks, Mets, Cubs, and Cardinals. I definitely think the offseason was dominated primarily by National League teams. Doesn't mean that the American League is going to fall back. I mean, David Price did go to Boston. So we don't know. I would definitely say it seems to me on paper, and like I said, we know what that means or doesn't mean in baseball. On paper, the National League looks stronger. We'll see how it actually turns out. Also, another question Africa's internet had that I didn't put up, which was kind of funny. He said, do I ask too many baseball questions? I thought that was kind of funny. Jared Young says, who's better right now, Blake Griffin or Anthony Davis? I don't think that's as easy of a question as people think. I still do think it's Anthony Davis. Blake Griffin's amazing, though. His ability as a playmaker, all of that is better. But when you talk about impact on both ends of the floor, Anthony Davis's defense is what pushes him ahead of Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is just not a great defender. He's an average defender at best. And Anthony Davis is probably not average at any part of his game, except for maybe 3-point shooting. But he's amazing. So I would still give the edge to Anthony Davis. Jared Young says, do you think that either DeMarcus Cousins or Dwight Howard will be traded this season? I don't think DeMarcus Cousins is going to be traded unless he comes out and tells the Kings, I want to be traded. If he doesn't do that, I don't think they're going to trade him. Dwight Howard's another story. He's already said he's going to test free agency at the end of the season, so the Rockets have to make that decision. Are they going to lose him for nothing? Because they're not even currently a playoff team right now, and he's struggling to find a way to play with James Harden, who will not pass the ball if his life depends on it. Then I think it's much more apt that Dwight Howard would be traded. So I would say keep an eye out in Miami, where a Hassan Whiteside, Dwight Howard swap might be in order. Jared Young says, do you think that Ben Simmons made the wrong decision to play at LSU, considering they may not make the NCAA tournament? It depends on how you're looking at it. From a financial standpoint, I don't think it impacts him at all. I think he's the number one pick, no matter what. And there's nothing that can happen that's going to change the fact that that guy's the number one pick in the draft. So he could have went to California Technical Junior College on the east side, and he would still be the number one pick. So, but from a collegiate competition standpoint, yeah, he might be regretting it a little bit because he may have had some aspirations of playing deep into the NCAA tournament, and right now it doesn't look like Tiger's able to do that. But give him some time. Still a lot of season left. Though that guy he also has Blakely on the team with him, and that's not his name. He has his high school teammate with him. For whatever reason, his name is escaping me right now. And they have some decent talent. We'll see what happens. Jay Young says, "Will you ever do a MyGM series on NBA 2K?" Absolutely, Jared. I am actually working on it as much as I can with some of the other series I got going on. So I'm putting some stuff in the bank for you guys. But that is going to happen. But I do appreciate you watching. God bless. Peace.